If you clicked on this video and you're saying to yourself, oh, but my coach told me to make goals, they're right. You're the one that's wrong. You're not working hard enough. So if you're a wrestler in America, there's about a 1.2% chance of becoming a Division I wrestler. Therefore, your goal doesn't mean anything without work behind it. Your words mean absolutely nothing without work behind it. Out of those people that become Division I wrestlers, there's not that many that become national champs. What is there, 10 college weight classes? So out of all these top 1% of high school athletes that become Division I wrestlers, there's 10 of them that become national champs in 1 year. So you have very, very small chances. So your goals have no impact without work behind them. But work isn't the only thing you need. You need plenty of other stuff behind work, and we'll get there. But first, we're going to talk about work. So when I was in 8th grade, I want to say I started wrestling year-round. Quit all the other sports. I think I played football actually for a little bit my freshman year. I did play football a little bit my freshman year. But other than that, I quit everything else. And I started wrestling year-round. Didn't stop. And I was working really, really hard. Didn't miss very many practices, if any at all. I was one of those kids where it better be a damn good excuse if I was going to miss practice. And so every single night when there was practice, I was there. I thought I was doing a lot of work. I was going to every practice. But work isn't always quite enough. I got pretty good by doing that, and I definitely jumped some people, and I definitely passed people on the way that weren't working as hard or missing practices or only practicing during season, but I wanted to be better, right? I wanted to be more than just what I was. It did get me to second place at state, which I'm happy for, right? But as I got older and I got bigger and I wasn't wrestling 113 pounds at state, wrestling a bunch of freshman and sophomore, I didn't place by junior year, right? And so work only got me so far. The next thing we have to talk about is working smart, and this is what most of the video is going to be about, because this takes your brain. It doesn't always take physical. It's very, very easy to come into practice, work physically hard, get exhausted, do what coach tells you, and then leave practice. That is probably, I don't have an actual statistic about it, but it's probably a lot of wrestlers. They come in, do what coach tells them, they work physically hard, they're hard workers, and they're the kids that their parents go, oh, yep, he's the hardest worker in the room, which he might be. Maybe he is. But is he the best wrestler in the room? And that's what kind of matters, doesn't it? Not saying that how good you are at wrestling is determinant on how good of a human being you are. But at the same time, if we're trying to achieve something in the sport of wrestling, we probably want to be good at it, correct? So I'll tell you who put this really in front of my face. It was my first private lesson I have ever done. I've never done private lessons before this. And it was my, I want to say junior year of high school. I'm going to Askren Wrestling Academy. Ben's my coach. Ben Askren is my coach. And I did a private lesson with him. And we come in, first one ever, he goes, let's just spar a little bit. I haven't watched you wrestle much. Let's spar together, and I'll kind of feel where you can get better at, where you can improve on, what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right, and then we can talk about it. So we start out, and we're sparring, and I'm getting frustrated because I'm not getting any scores. Duh. He's Olympian, 2-time national champ. Am I probably going to get scores as a junior in high school and way lighter than him? Probably not. But my mindset was, if I work really hard, I should be able to score on him. So what did I do? I started wrestling harder and harder and harder, not doing what we were supposed to be doing, which is sparring. And Ben didn't say anything. He just continued wrestling and continued scoring on me and started beating me up even more because I was wrestling harder, so he started wrestling harder. Makes sense. And I don't know, this probably went on, I don't know anymore, it's a lot of years ago, but this probably went on for a while. And then right at the end of the private, he stopped me and he kind of looked at me for a second, and then he's kind of asked me, like, what am I doing? And I was like, well, I told him I got frustrated because I couldn't score. And he was like, yeah, well, did you really think you were going to score on me if I didn't want you to score on me? And I thought about it for a second, and I was like, I mean, I guess not, but like in my head, I still want to score on him. And so I did the drill completely wrong. And then he just simply asked me, what are my goals in wrestling? And I thought about it for a second, and I told him I wanted to be Division I national champ and Olympian, and those were my goals back then, and I didn't really know how to get there, but I was working really, really hard, and I thought that was right because that's what I was taught my whole life. And he kind of looked at me, and I could see it in his face that, like, he wasn't, like, looking at me, like, condescendingly, but he was kind of like, you really think you're going to get there with what you're doing right now? And then he said something along those lines. He's a lot better with words than I am, but he said something along those lines of like, what you're doing right now isn't enough to get you there from where you're at right now. And like I said, he's a much better talker than I am. Ask him what he said. I'm sure he does not remember this, but I'm sure he said it to other kids. So he tells me that, and I go home and I really, really think about it. I probably asked him a couple questions off of it, but man, I went home and I really thought about it. I was like, is what I'm doing enough to get to where I want to go from where I'm at? I just didn't place as a junior in high school, didn't place at state. And I want to become a national champion for Division I and an Olympian. Like, that's a big, big step. And so I thought, and I was like, is going to practice every single practice enough, working really, really hard, getting physically exhausted. When we go live, I wrestle hard. I do what coach tells me. And is what I came to realize is it wasn't enough. I had to think about what I was doing, right? So when coach shows move, I have to pay attention to the details. When I go out and hit the move, every single rep, I have to pay attention to the details. Not to the first rep, not just the second rep, not the first 4 reps, not half of the practice. The entire practice, every single rep needs to be with the attempt to do it better than the last rep. And I started doing that. And I started getting better and better and better and better and better. But that's still not enough. So what else do I need to add? I had mental problems, right? Not like crazy psycho mental problems, but I had match anxiety, really, really bad. Struggled with it for a while. And so I needed to solve that. So what did I start doing? I started doing wrestling mindset. Great thing. Did it for, I want to say almost a year. I want to say I did it for a year actually. Really, really helped me. Awesome program. Go check them out. Not sponsored or anything. Just go check them out. Awesome program. They helped me. Or just talk about your coach with it. That's also a good option to do. Find resources. Help yourself. But you definitely should look into like the mental aspect if you're struggling with that kind of stuff. Okay, now I've solved that problem. Not enough still. What else do I have to do? I have to take accountability for my own wrestling. So I have to look at my own wrestling. Where can I get better? Where can I get worse? How do I get better at, or not? Where can I get better? Where can I improve at? Where am I bad at? What holes do I need to fill? With the stuff I'm good at, how can I improve it still? Because your club coach or your coach, whoever he's got plenty of other kids to worry about as well. You're not the main focus. So you got to take control of yourself and put in time and effort towards yourself. I'm sure the coach will too. The coach is reciprocate. If you got a good coach, he's going to reciprocate all the effort that you're putting in. If you got a bum coach, he might not do it. You should probably go somewhere else. But if you got a good coach, like at AWA we have, a bunch of good coaches, they are going to reciprocate that effort. They're going to see this kid's putting in effort, he wants it, and they're going to help you. Okay? So find a spot with good coaches that are going to help you. But you need to take control of your own wrestling. You need to look where you can improve on. And then you need to go start doing stuff. And if you don't have the knowledge of, Wes, I don't know what to do, ask a coach. Hey, I'm not getting to my shots. What should I do? Well, do this. Hey, I'm not able to ride people on top. What should I do? Well, do this, right? Insanity is doing the same thing over and expecting the same results. So we need to change. So next time, work hard, work smart. And the last thing you need to do is work harder, okay? And it's like, you can only work so hard. I understand that. There's diminishing returns. If I go to practice 24/7, probably going to burn out. My body's going to fail, blah, 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 blah. So we can only work so hard, but we mentally, right? Mental reps, watching matches, studying wrestling, looking at your own wrestling, writing down your best tie-ups, stuff like that. And then it just takes time as well. The best analogy that fits into my head for this, who was also told by Ben, was everyone's in this room and there's a light switch in the room. The light switch is your goal. National champ, state champ, Olympian, whatever it is, right? Flip it up, turn on the lights, you get your goal. Well, some people are closer, just the way the room is. The light switch is only in one corner. Some people are gonna just start closer to that light switch than you. You might have to weave your way through the people to get to the light switch, right? And that takes time. So you just keep working, be consistent, constantly look to improve, listen to what your coach has, but also take advantage of your own mind and think about your wrestling yourself. Take control over your own journey and just keep working. And over time, hopefully you'll get there. Appreciate it.